The Goku has returned.
Oh, hey, Goku.
The Goku is back.
Did you have a nice Goku?
I did not Goku, but I did Pageek. However you...
You did.
I peed.
You Gohan?
A Gohan.
Piccalo.
A Piccalo.
A Piccalo.
A Piccalo. But I did not poop-a-load.
A poop-a-load.
Poop-a-load. I did not poop-a-load. I did not poop-a-load.
Oh, man. He said it. He said it.
Yeah, I'm
I
okay
did not,
with
Mr. Popo.
I did not Mr. Popo.
Do you got a Gohan or Mr. Popo?
I Piccaloed. I did not poop-a-load.
Piccolo or Mr. Popo?
So, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Crystal from SheAttack.com.
From what?
SheAttack.com.
SheAttack.com. Okay, Crystal. Okay, cool. I'm Sean from Dragon Ball Z, TV's Dragon Ball Z. This is Chris from TV's Dragon Ball Z.
I'm Chris from TV's Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Very nice to meet both of you.
Thank you.
It's really good to see you both here at New York Comic Con.
Thank you.
Have you been enjoying your time so far?
Yeah, I've done. Well, I lived in New York for 10 years, and I've been to New York Comic Con before, and it just keeps getting better and better. So it's cool.
That's good. So, Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods is the latest Dragon Ball Z movie.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite parts from the movie?
I like it when the dragon gets nervous about Beerus, and I like doing my impression of Vegeta at the end and the bingo song a lot.
Yeah, I like Doug working on the bingo song. I loved Goku's impersonation of Vegeta. I really liked seeing you got Kid Trunks and Goten's appearance. That always made me laugh every time. And let's see. Oh, and there's some stuff in the extended cut that's really funny.
Yeah.
I guess Hercule gets really, really super, super drunk at the party, and he challenges Beerus to a match of fisticuffs. So he's all slurring, and he passes out. And if you listen carefully, he's like, "They'll give me a burger." So yeah. We had him Hasselhoff.
Oh yes. I haven't seen the uncut. I only saw my part.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I gotta get that. I can download on a PS3 right now. I might do that. Or I can get a physical copy for free, hopefully. Scott Lonsky will hook me up. I'll throw him in there.
I'll be honest, I brought you a copy of it.
Did you?
I did, but then I gave it to the lady at the hotel so that she'd give me a better room. So, I love you, but I wanted a better room.
So would you say that Battle of the Gods is your favorite movie so far?
It's favorite any Dragon Ball so far.
Yeah.
Favorite any.
Yeah, hands down.
Hands down.
And some of it could be because do you like the iPhone 6 more than you like the iPhone 5 or whatever? But
or 3
because that's the new shiny. But I will say it was just so nice after working on the show for so many years to finally come back and do something that we love, and it's fresh and new and awesome.
And how did it feel coming back into the studio to get right back into your characters?
Well, we never really left because we were doing Kai every month or every year. So I was never away from Okachan for more than a year. Or we were doing a video game, or we're doing Kai then a video game. So everybody said we got the band back together. I'm like, we've been doing shit for 10 years. I don't know what you're talking about. I can see how it would be perceived that way. But, I think the good feeling part about it in terms of back together was more like good feeling we're telling a new story.
Yeah.
that was the best part for us.
Totally.
So being a voice actor, what's the process like? Do you just go into a studio? Do you have to watch the film before?
There's a lot of different processes for a lot of different companies and a lot of different studios. Dubbing is different than prelay, where we don't have animation. We usually almost always go to a studio. There's a couple projects I do from home, but by and large, we go to a studio. If it's prelay, you get your script in advance usually. You look over your script. You don't have to memorize your lines. And then a lot of times you record with a whole group of people in the same room. It's an ensemble cast. And then with dubbing, it's usually one actor at a time. And Chris will say, "All right, Sean, your first line is line 35. Goku's very upset. Go." And that's boop, boop, boop. And I look at the line. Usually the line lets me know kind of what Goku's state is because he has basically two emotions. And then I say my line. He goes, "Okay, good. Next line." Or do that different. Or here's a direction. And then,
Or sometimes just like, "Hey, Chris, are you paying attention?" "Oh, yeah, sorry. I was on my phone. That was good.
That was good. Next one." And that's the basic outline of the process. And what's great is about the Battle of Gods DVD, with the extended features and the extras, you can actually see us in the booth. And you'll hear Chris. You'll see us in the corner You'll see me, and then you'll hear Chris giving me direction. You'll hear the beeps. You'll see the process. You'll get a very good idea of what a dubbing process is like, which I'm really excited about. Not that your question bothered me, but I've been asked that question, I think, 8,000 times in the last 15 years. And I certainly don't mind it from journalists, but when every kid on the line is like, how does it work in the room? I'm like, guess what? There's an extended feature on Dragon Ball Z movie that will tell you that. Let's talk about something else. So I wasn't bothered by it at all. I don't want you to think that. But I'm kind of excited about that particular extended feature. Chris is spacing out again.
I am. It's getting that time of the day.
Yeah, we were at a crazy show last night. It was awesome. Yeah. We were out late watching a live show.
Do you live here?
No, I'm actually from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Do you have... Oh, man.
If you have the time, you should go do
town?
this. Yeah, you should go see the show.
You going home tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot.
What's your show?
The show is called Sleep No More.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's like it's not like a Broadway show. It's this experimental theater thing where you go to a house, or like it's
Giant
a six-story,
warehouse.
Six-story like hotel kind of thing.
It's like a haunted house that has acting in it, but they're not trying to scare you. It's very ambient.
The whole thing is supposed to be kind of a story of Macbeth, but you can go through all the rooms and look through things. You can open up like books or look under mattresses or do whatever it is you want to do. And there's really loud sound and sound effects, and it's very creepy and moody.
All right, so within all the series, there's always a lot of screaming that is just perfect.
Thank you.
How do you guys get into like that potion? You're screaming like.
A lot of it has to do with doing dubbing. The rule for me has always been make your voice sound as awesome as what you're looking at. And so, luckily, if I had to do those kind of screams, I could do, I think, a good scream. But if I had to do them prelay, it might not be as good because when I'm looking at this is really intense animation. I'm trying to match it. For me, as an actor, I've always felt like the animation's here, and I'm always just kissing the bottom. Like I'm not quite there in terms of the scream. Like I just can't get it. Which I kind of like being in that spot because it's kind of like light speed. You approach 186,000 miles per second, and mass increases. Never mind. Because you can never do that, but then you'd have to convert into light. But it feels like that. Approaching light speed is how you would try to metaphorically match the animation. I mean, I'm really tired. Sorry. We were out late, and I took a sleeping pill because I knew I had to do this today, so I slept good. But I only got about 4 hours of sleep. So I'm like tangentializing here. But yes, screaming, awesome, animation, inspired, speed of light.
I'm the voice director for the series. And I've worked with.
You have that thing on. Is that even recording? Oh, okay.
I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with all of the Dragon Ball Z cast, obviously. And the toughest thing about finding the cast is that we found a lot of people who had never done anything like this before. Partially because Dallas just didn't have a market for it, and partially because there's nothing like Dragon Ball Z out there. You weren't going to find some hard-working, like super pro actor to come in and say, hey, I have an idea. Let's have you scream for 8, 10, 12 hours this week. They'd absolutely turn it down. They'd say, I can't do it. And so we had to find like people who were aggressive, enthusiastic, and ready to do it. And so whenever I would have a new person in the booth, and I never had to say this to Sean, but whenever I had a new person, I would always go, all right, here's the deal. This scream is going to be intense. It's going to be long, and it's probably going to hurt your voice. But I beg you, do it as awesome as you possibly can, because then all you have to do is do it one time. Because if you do it and it's not as awesome as it needs to be, then you have to do it again. So why hurt your voice even more having to do the thing twice? Just do one amazing, awesome scream. Be totally prepared for it. Be mentally prepared. Watch the video as much as you need to before you do it. Man, we had an incredible moment, and I'm so glad we did when we were working on Battle of Gods, where Goku has this, it's not a spoiler, he has this insane power-up, and then he delivers this amazing line. It says, I won't let you destroy my world.
But then he has to punch through all those rocks.
And then he has this weird animation that came through it. And so we said, let's just do it. It didn't do it in the Japanese, but why don't we have in your version, why don't we just scream all the way through?
Power all the way through.
And it was the most insane thing I've ever heard him do, and I'm so happy that it worked out that way because it sounds so good in promos and trailers, and it's so effective.
I am surprisingly pleased. I'm pretty hard on my own work, and
it was awesome.
Somebody posted it was on the second page of Reddit, and my friend Dave Vincent was like, Sean, you're on the second page of Reddit. And I'm like, what? And what's Reddit? I mean, I know what Reddit is, but I'm like, is that a big deal? And he's like, second page, it's going to me, and then it's on Kotaku. And I'm like, And I saw it, and I go, this is going to be so stupid. I look so stupid in the booth, and I watched, and I was done. I was like, yeah, I brought it.
Yeah.
I felt really good about it. I rarely feel cocky about my own work, but in that moment, I was like, okay, I'm good. I was very happy with it. So I think my only fear is that people won't ask me to say Kamehameha anymore. They're going to ask me to scream, I won't let you destroy my world, and then do that scream, which I don't even know if I could ever do that again. But
And when you're directing someone to do a scream like that, and Sean's experienced this because he's a director as well, but and I guess we'll see. When you are asking someone to scream like that, or read lines like that, or do some sort of hurting sound or painful sound, something that's emotional, I will typically, because I'm an actor too, I sympathetically almost make those mouth movements as he's doing it. I'm in the booth, and when he's screaming, I'm holding my breath. Like I can't, the whole time he's doing it, because my brain is sympathetically making the same sound in silence inside my mouth. And when he's done with it, I'm exhausted too, mentally exhausted. And sometimes there's a gasp in the room after it happens, where I'll just she's doing my. And sometimes we'll even move our mouth. I'll even talk along with it. Yeah, it's a sympathetic thing I do. I don't know why.
That's awesome.
But it was incredible. It was really.
I got to give it to the animation. The animation really, that intensity of the animation is where I draw a lot of inspiration for those parts of the show, and it was there. It was really good. So very happy with how it turned out. I think that movie's going to end up being legendary in terms of 20 years from now. It's going to be considered one of the greats in Dragon Ball history, and all animation history, in my opinion.
Can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah.
All right, so one last question.
Yeah.
Being a fan of Dragon Ball Z.
You're saying that I am? Because you don't know if I am or not. Are you being a fan of Dragon Ball Z?
I'm
Oh, okay. Being a fan of, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just a job. No, I am a fan.
I'm always curious to know, what other mediums do you find inspiration in? Other animes, other mangas?
Find inspiration for my art, for what I do?
Yes.
I mean, Chris and I both. Chris has different modes of it. He's also very visually stimulated. But there's lots of different actors and music largely. In fact, this last trip we were recording Xenoverse, I'm a classically trained musician, and he was playing some stuff back to do the Vegeta stuff, and I thought, wait, are all my inflections diatonic and totally tertian? Because I'm not hearing any in between chromatic notes. But anyway, a lot of it's musically inspired. I also pay attention to actors who are very, I love Benedict Cumberbatch, I love Daniel Day-Lewis, actors who are real charactery, and just different forms of art that you can bring to and even different sounds, even non-organic sounds, there's a lot of different places you can find art. There's a lot of different places. So for me, it's very musical based, and it's very sound based. I'm real hypersensitive to that.
Yeah, I would actually have to mirror the same exact sentiments. I was a music student, and I've always been a big fan of sound. And so to me, all of Dragon Ball is just a soundscape. The video is, although the video is neat, all I really care about is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what we do for a living. I like making electronic music. I love listening to other music, and so whenever I'm casting or whenever I'm looking for new roles, I'm trying to think. Yes, this would be the right person for the character, but I also like to experience it without ever seeing what the character looks like. I want you to be able to watch it and go, I know that that's Piccolo, and I know that this is Beerus. I know this is Whis, without ever having to look at the screen. To have a nice choir of sound.
Yeah. They complement each other, and it's got a thing that hooks your ear. You want to voice that. Some of the people have really great voice actors. Actually, if you listen to them, they actually have weird voices. They regular plain milquetoast voices, which you'd think would be good for voiceover. You're usually not. If it's got a catchiness or a hook or some kind of harmonics.
It's a special resonance that some voices have.
They have it. That just hooks you.
I listen to voices like Greg Ayres and Chris Ayres, and even Vic Mignogna and people that have a very specific resonance to their voice. You can hear it in Laura Bailey has a really interesting resonance. I don't know. There's so many
LA actors who do, and that's what I think.
Steve Bloom, for instance, his whole voice is just his voice is only a small layer on top of Steve, this massive instrument.
His instrument's amazing. If you look at Peter Cullen, who essentially, I don't know what other stuff he does, but you hear Peter Cullen and he's like, Optimus Prime, that just. I wonder how he orders burgers. I'd like milkshake. I can't even do that voice. So it's a sound for us. So it's a weird long answer, but
it was nice. It was nice talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Sorry, we're not so. I could be more awake.
I understand.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure thing. Take care.
Take care.